for you guys to get started.
Okay, yes, we're ready. So a couple housekeeping things, like I mentioned, you can raise your hand, you can put things in the chat box like Teresa said. A lot of you figured that out, introducing where you're from, so that's fantastic. I see there's 14 more people for me to add in here, so that's great. We'll get some more faces here in the group, and we're so thankful for each of you that are on here with us. All right, so.
Hi, Dana.
Yeah. Oh, and Lucretia's there too. Hi, Lucretia. Melissa. Excellent. You guys, there are just too many of you for me to welcome by name, and that's just an absolutely wonderful thing. So please know, even if we haven't mentioned you specifically by name, we are thankful that you are here and looking forward to getting started. So, oh, I can't minimize this when I'm recording.
Are you guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh no, can you not hear us? Because we can definitely hear you.
Hello?
Oh, that'll be a problem.
Hello?
Yeah.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Well, Kalina had this wonderful look and she was frozen on my screen, so I wasn't quite sure if the internet had frozen up.
Okay,
No,
well, can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you fine. So you guys are all ready to get started.
Okay,
we can
that's
hear you. So go ahead.
So I want to take a moment to thank Dr. Schening for her time. And for those of you who don't know her, I know that a lot of you do, but maybe some of you don't know a lot about Dr. Schening. So I'm just going to briefly introduce who she is and what she's all about. Let's see, Dr. Schening, she's had her own practice for 5 years, and she has did her residency.
12 years, dear.
Pardon me?
12 years. I've had my own practice for 12 years.
Your website, oh, in 2005. See, this is why you're the detail person, right? So, okay, my apologies. You began your own practice in 2005 and has been expanding ever since. She's located in the South Elgin area in Illinois. So for some of us, we have to drive a little bit of a distance to get to her, but we gladly do that. Dr. Schening has received the Gold Foundation Humanism in Medicine Award from the Academy of Pediatrics in 2009 for her outstanding work with foster children. She's very accomplished and has received many awards. That year, she also received the Sherman Hospital Community Service Award. In 2013 and 15, she received the Favorite Pediatrician Award, which is no surprise to any of us who take our children to go and see her. Dr. Schening was on the board to get Advocate Sherman breastfeeding friendly status, which is very exciting for anybody out there who has been to that hospital. That definitely took a lot of work to get that done. And she's currently the chair of the pediatric department at Advocate Sherman Hospital. She absolutely loves to educate her patients and their families on the importance of the physical, environmental, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, which is great because you really get a holistic view of your health for your family when you go and visit her. She also is the mother of 3 children. And as she mentioned, she and her husband and their 3 kids live in the booming suburbs of Plato. So we're very fortunate to have her. Dr. Schening's approach to medicine is sought after out here in the area, and my children absolutely love going to her office simply because she loves superheroes, is a very, very friendly office, and she got her bachelor's before she went into the pediatric side of things in science and biology. She once told me that she is a scientist at heart and absolutely loves research, and so I know that she doesn't do anything without looking into it first. So Dr. Schening, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We absolutely love having you here with us.
I am so excited to be here tonight. Sitting in the kitchen floor doing this. This is awesome.
Yeah, you have beautiful handles there on your cabinets. So, you know, tonight we wanted to talk about the immune system and building up our children's immune system, most specifically ways to keep it happy, healthy, and make sure that the things that we're doing for our kids keep them in school, having less sick days, more active days that they can be feeling good and growing, and things like that. So when we talk about ways to build a healthy immune system, you mentioned being active is a really good way that we can do that. Can you talk to us more about why that's important?
Yeah, when mothers come into the office, on their sixth ear infection, they say, "What can I do to boost their immunity?" And I wish that I had like an hour to talk to each mother about all the aspects that come into building your kid's immunity as immune system and your parent, your immune system, because everything tonight you can also extrapolate into the adult world. But one of the easiest things is actually getting your kids active, not just, don't think of exercise as a dirty word, you don't want, like a swear word, you don't want to say it. Make activities fun. I understand in Northern Illinois in the wintertime, there's not much you can do outside. Like the summertime, you can take them out to the parks, you can go play Frisbee, you can, go for long walks, ride your bikes, etc. But, here in Chicago in the wintertime, there's not much to do. So I recommend getting inventive. There's little mini trampolines that you can buy for about $100, and your kids can just stand there and bounce and burn off some energy. Another thing that I have actually just gotten into as well as my kids is called a pound class. And that's Pound, where there's great videos on YouTube where you take drumsticks and for a half an hour, you do a phenomenal sweating, butt kicking workout. And my kids and I are starting to go to those, and they are wonderful.
Is that the one where you're pounding on the exercise balls?
No, you don't pound on exercise balls. You pound on the ground. You click them up above your head. I mean, it is so much fun. And you don't realize that, oh my gosh, I just spent 45 minutes with a heart rate, with an elevated heart rate, knowing I'm burning off some calories. But, activity and not letting your kids or yourself, because remember, kids learn by example. They do as you do, they don't do as you say. But activity and getting them into sports or gymnastics class or swimming classes. I personally think everybody needs to know how to swim. 30 minutes 3 times a week will actually help boost your immune system.
Okay, so staying active, we definitely need to do more of that. And what's the flip side of making sure that we're keeping them active?
Well, once we've kind of worn them out and being active, you have to sleep. Sleep's a recovery phase. Again, it's very important for your immune system to recharge at night. We've all done it. We've all burned the candle at both ends. We've all gotten not enough sleep. And what happens that then snowballs into, oh, gee, I'm exposed to a little cold and flu. And then suddenly that snowballs into something bigger. So sleep is very important. It's very important not only for your cognitive function and being able to focus in school and at your job, but also it helps with your immune system.
Okay, so wear them out and then make sure that we recharge them properly, right? They're like a cell phone. You use it till the battery runs out and then recharge it fully. Okay, great. So the next thing
That's right.
All right. The next thing that you and I talked about was the diet. And now I think that everyone on here, we know what a good diet should look like for our children, right? There's the ideal perfect picture of what a plate should look like with, loads of vegetables on it and some good lean protein for them to consume, right? We have our fruits throughout the day and our vegetables throughout the day. And, you know, we're getting that protein, and we know what a balanced meal should look like, right? So, but the what it should look like and the actual reality of what our children are willingly going to consume sometimes aren't the same thing, right? So let's kind of shift the conversation from exactly what they should, you know, rather to what ones we should really avoid that are actually attacking our immune system. We all know that we should be consuming the vegetables and things like that. So can you talk specifically more about how our diet can attack our immune system? You there?
Hello. I lost you there, Kalina.
Oh, looks like we've got a little bit
Hello.
of going on. Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, that's a lovely face that's frozen on for you, Jen. Sorry about that. I don't know if your internet has you frozen. Are you there, Dr. Schening?
She may have to, all right, looks like Kalina, she logged out. So we'll wait just 1 second and hopefully she'll log right back in and we can get started, right? Sorry about that, everybody, but sometimes the internet does take over.
Oh, and she appears to be back.
Yes.
Awesome. We lost you there for a second. I'll let you guys continue.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, as you were saying before we got cut off, you know, as a physician, I know how to eat. I know what I should be eating with my fruits and vegetables. But in reality, I am nowhere near where I need to be. One of the biggest hits to your immune system is sugar. And it can be, don't think just your plain white granulated sugar, but think of your high fructose corn syrup, the ingredients say glucose, that's sugar. And what sugar does is your average white blood cell, which your white blood cells are the ones that fight infection. So one white blood cell will destroy about 13 enemies, whether it be a virus, a bacteria. And after 6 teaspoons of sugar, that number goes down to 10, which is about a 30% decrease in the amount of enemies that a white blood cell can destroy. And so you may say, well, I don't put that much sugar in my coffee or my kids' cereal. But Raisin Bran, Kellogg's Raisin Bran has 10 tablespoons of sugar per serving.
Wow.
And think about it. We think that, oh my gosh, that's a good breakfast for our kids. When really we're giving them something that is going to, you know, kind of put them behind the 8 ball. It's already decreasing their white blood cells and their body's ability to fight off infections. And after 12 teaspoons of sugar, a white blood cell can only destroy 5 viruses or bacteria. So that's about a 65% decrease. You know, so you give them that Raisin Bran and a sunny orange juice for breakfast, and your kids might end up being sick because your immune system isn't working at the optimal levels.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty astonishing.
So
those numbers, I didn't realize that there was that much in each of those cereals. You know, I saw some numbers that in the 1900s there was 12 pounds of sugar that were consumed on a yearly basis, and in the present time it's 172 pounds per year of sugar. Is it just me, or is that a pretty astonishing number? It sounds pretty accurate with what you're telling us in your cereals, right?
Yes. Yeah, because we don't realize how much processed foods we are eating, because it's become the norm now.
Yeah. So we know that about processed sugars. Now, what about any artificial flavors or dyes or things like that? How do those attack our immune system?
Oh yeah. I personally don't let my kids or me eat anything with any of the artificial sweeteners. It again, those things not only affect our yeah, as you can see on the screen, there's aspartame. And the funny thing with aspartame is that our brain doesn't know what to do with it. So when it crosses that blood-brain barrier and gets into your brain actually turns it into a form of formaldehyde. So you're already, so by eating that stuff, you're actually pickling your brain.
Mm.
But yeah, these again, all the artificial sweeteners, again, people think, oh, well, it's low calorie, no calorie. Well, all those chemicals that we are putting in our bodies, again, our immune system just, it dumbs them down.
Mm-hmm. Right. We certainly can't have that when we're trying to stay healthy. So with the, pardon me?
I was going to say, and considering, most kids miss, on average, anywhere between 5 to 13 days of school per year. I mean, we need to start with breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Right. Set them off on the right foot for the day for a solid foundation. And, which is interesting. We talked about diet and the things that we're putting in. And another thing that we talked about, because, I have the pleasure of planning some of this with Dr. Schening, right? So we talked about the digestive system and the role that that plays in our immune system. So can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Yeah, about 60 to 70% of our immune system starts in the gut, because that's the way that most of the viruses and bacteria start to invade us. It goes in through our nose, through our mouth, we inhale it. And so we have so many lymph nodes actually throughout our gut. And those lymph nodes are the ones that produce the white blood cells, which then boost our immune system. And it's very important that we have the right bacteria residing in our gut. Think of those little, what we call probiotics as our first line of defense. Because if we have a good thick layer of them in our intestinal tract, then that nasty flu bug, that virus that you have just come in contact with, can't get into your intestines, and your immune system can take care of it. I swear by probiotics because there was some very nasty stomach bugs going around our area last year, and my family went by without a scratch, so much as a upset tummy, because I made sure my kids and I were taking those probiotics every day.
Okay, so a probiotic is something that we can take on a daily basis for our digestive systems?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you were talking about the diet and things like that, and you said you know how to eat, but you aren't necessarily always eating that way, how are you filling in the gaps then?
I take my vitamins. I have discovered that if I don't take my vitamins every day, I will get sick. I am a high stress job. I don't get enough sleep. I do work out, not all the time though. But if I don't take my multivitamins every day, if I miss more than 2 days in a row, I am guaranteed to get sick. Again, the multivitamins, they have other stuff to boost your immune system, like vitamin D, vitamin C, your B complexes. Those all, again, help your immune system to work optimally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Now, with the things that we're putting in our body and the different ways that we can do that, there's one important thing that I think that we often forget about when it comes to our immune system. And that would be the environmental surroundings that we have around us. And I'm not talking about making sure your kids wear jackets so that when they go outside, they don't, catch the death of cold or things like that. But I'm really talking about the indoor environmental side of things. And can you talk about why that's important, please?
Lena.
Oh, you're frozen again. Oh boy.
Hopefully she'll be able to jump right back on.
Yep. So her kitchen has good lighting, but maybe not the best service, right?
We're going to have to get that boosted up a little bit for the next.
Absolutely. Oh, she's back?
She's back. Okay.
There you are. Oh, and she's off again. We must have still been frozen to her. So she'll be back in just a moment. I hope.
Absolutely. I have some questions too I'm writing down, so we'll have those soon for you guys.
Oh, great. Thank you for keeping track of that for us. And yes, this is a great time to remind everyone, if you do have some questions, feel free to be putting those in the chat box. Teresa's cataloging them all for us. Oh, good. She's back. Let's see. There you are. Hello.
I live way out in the country and the internet out here is just terrible.
That's what we were saying. Good lighting in the kitchen, maybe not the best service. So we were talking about the environmental side of things, and maybe if you could help us to understand how our indoor environment helps us or can hinder our immune system, things we can do.
Yeah, there was a study actually put out several years ago that women who stayed in the home, who didn't have outside jobs, homemakers, had an increased risk of cancer because of all the toxins that are around us, and the ones that they were using, the candles, the artificial fragrances, that kind of stuff. So I believe that does, again, put a stress on our immune system.
Right. So
we have to basically clean up our inside and our outside environments too.
Right. So if we're being attacked from the chemicals that are in our cleaning products or from the soot from the candles and things like that, it's really a distractor to our immune system. So it's working to combat those things rather than working on combating the colds. Is that right?
Right. Right. Yeah, again, it's just an extra stress on our bodies that we just don't need.
Okay. Right. So there's other ways for us to be able to get fragrance in the home. If you really love burning candles, you could try, diffusing some oils or using, I personally have a fabric softener that I love that is non-toxic that I mix with water, and I spray that on some things for an air freshener for ourselves. And, I think that the biggest thing is making sure that we aren't spraying the chemicals around and creating a worse environment for us. The first thing that people think of when their children are sick is busting out the Lysol. And,
right.
They want to make sure that they're disinfecting. It's the natural reaction. I got to disinfect this house. I got to get all the germs out of here. Would you say that using a product that, we all wanted or thought was good for us, like Lysol, that contains things that are actually worse off for our lungs and things like that, are we doing a service?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, any of those spray ones, I'm not a fan of Lysol. I don't even use any of that stuff in my office. Mm-hmm. I use other things that don't have the fumes, because those type of chemicals can create inflammation in the lungs, which of course then boom, your immune system has to fight, is part of that whole immune inflammation cascade. And so, that can again, just deplete your immune system.
Right. And we can't have that. So we want to remove all of those environmental things to make sure we're not distracting our immune system from doing its actual job and what it should be doing. Wow. So this was a lot of great information. I know I took a lot of pieces of that. So, we talked about the ways that we can build it, some of the, things that we can do. And I wanted to talk now, there's people asking about some product recommendations and different things like that. And I know that in your office, you have chosen to partner with the #1 natural nutrition company, which is Shaklee Corporation, for your supplemental needs and different things like that. Could you talk to us about why Shaklee is something that you chose to go with rather than any of the hundreds or thousands of other brands that are out there that we could get at the store or online or anything like that? Could you please share that with us?
So I am a research person. You have to show me that #1, your product works, not just vitamin D works, but the vitamin D product that your company makes works. And I am a stickler for purity, because why give yourself or your kids a vitamin that has lead in it or cadmium or mercury or has. And I guess the two things that made me get into Shaklee is that I was giving my kids a very, very good, high quality multivitamin, but when they were sick, I found myself grabbing the Shaklee. And so finally it dawned on me that, okay, well, if I'm giving my kids the Shaklee vitamins when they're sick, why am I not just doing it all the time? And then also, the research that Shaklee has just blown me away. People don't realize that to publish something in a major medical journal, it's not an easy thing to do. People think that, oh my gosh, I can just, write a paper, send it in to the Journal of the American Medical Association, and they'll publish it. It doesn't happen that way. It's a very long process. It has to be reviewed. I mean, it is scrutinized. And actually, a lot of papers never get published because they don't meet that journal standards. And when I found out that Shaklee has, I believe, over about 75, is it, published studies and 125 other studies, I mean, I was just blown away because, it's done by Berkeley and Yale and big universities, big credible universities.
Right. There's over 135 published papers and scientific presentations. Now, can you touch on, the efficacy of the products and the research behind it is obvious based on all the information that you just shared and the articles that they have published and things like that. Can you touch on the quality of the products and why that's important and how that helps them to be effective?
Yeah, I've always been very impressed with the quality and the fact that, Shaklee checks each ingredient, not just the final product or before, but each ingredient over 350 times for different herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, heavy metals, toxins, bacteria, viruses. And, so I know that the vitamins that I am taking and that the vitamins that I'm recommending to my patients, I know that it's a quality vitamin.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I know that that's really important for me too. I wouldn't want to, I took your word for it too. When you said, oh, I'm a researcher, I thought, oh, well, this is really exciting then. So now one thing that, we talked about the articles and the research, and is that really all of the Shaklee difference pieces that you feel are the most important for us to know about? Oh, there's cover.
What was that, Colleen? You were breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What was that last one?
I know that you wanted to make sure that we touched on the Shackley guarantee, that piece of the Shackley difference and the guarantee, and why that's important to you. Can you hear me?
The Shackley difference. You're breaking up a lot, but so yeah. Again, I know that Shackley is an ethical company. I know that they put so much money into research for their own products, and that they take the time to make sure that their products work before they even put them to market. Mm-hmm. So I have the utmost confidence in anything that Shackley makes.
Okay, that's wonderful. So Shackley has some of the different supplements that you were talking about that would be beneficial for our kids to be taking to build their immune system. And so let's talk. There's 4 products that you wanted to be sure that we talked about tonight. So can we start with, please, the children's multivitamin, which is called the Incredivites, and where that one stands with our immune system. That one's going to be the filling in the gaps from their diet, right? Did you hear me okay?
You're breaking up something bad. So what was that diet?
We were going to talk about the Shackley Incredivites and how that helps to fill in the gaps from their diet so it can build their immune system. Can you share about the Incredivites?
Oh yeah. So yeah, and when parents come in and ask me how to boost their kids' immune systems, right off the bat, I usually tell them you need a great multivitamin. And just an FYI, I hate gummy vitamins. They have too much sugar and not enough anything really in it. So yeah, when they come in, I tell them if they're able to chew, or I started my kids on the Incredivites when they were about a year old. I kind of crush it up and put it in a water bottle, and that was their juice for the day. But yeah, the Incredivites are I know that my kids are getting a quality multivitamin with that one.
And that one has the component in it called lactoferrin that actually helps to activate the immune system. Is that correct?
Yeah. I always tell my breastfeeding moms that when they get sick, not to worry too much about the breastfeeding babies, because it's like when a cold hits a family, it'll hit everybody in the house but the breastfeeding baby. And it's probably because of that lactoferrin that's in the breast milk that's boosting the immune system.
That's excellent. Now, vitamin C is another one. Tell us what vitamin C does for us. I don't have a slide for that one, but
it's not. So a lot of my lactose intolerant kids can take Incredivites. The amount of milk protein in it is actually very low. So I found that a lot of my dairy intolerant kids can actually take it. And then, yeah, I actually tell parents to do a multivitamin, extra vitamin D, and vitamin C also, as well as probiotics, because again, all of those things help, not only help with their growth, because those kids, your kids are growing at an exponential rate, and they need all those essential vitamins and nutrients. But honestly, the kids who are on multivitamins not to be in my office as much. And I'd rather see you for a well visit, not a sick visit. Because I know that some moms come in and they're like, oh my gosh, I've seen you like 3 times in the last, 6 days. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm tired of seeing the kids healthy and out of my office.
right. So really focusing on prevention is something that you would advocate more, even though you know that's going to keep us out of your office and, we could drive you out of business, right? I've got a great slide up here. I know we have some people on the phone, so you might not be able to see this, but it says, what does it cost when your child is sick? $90 plus in doctor visits, a bunch of sick supplies, lost school time, lost work, canceled activities, and things like that. And, it does. We don't think about those things always when our kid is sick. We just think, oh, you poor thing. But the cost really absolutely does add up. And so when you look at the cost of that versus the cost of prevention and providing yourself or your children, rather, with the supplements that they could be taking in order to have that better health right off the bat, it really does not compare. It's a pretty obvious decision that prevention is key to make sure that they have that right off the bat. And then as far as a probiotic goes, there's a question here about the preferred probiotic and, how they're most effective. Can you talk a little bit about the Shaklee probiotic?
Yeah, I love the Shaklee because, again, they have made sure their product works. Most of the probiotics out there, what is on the label of the bottle is not what's in the bottle. Because if you pick up, brand X at Walgreens, it will say, 3 billion CFUs, which is a colony-forming unit. So basically a unit of bacteria. But that's the number of, oh, gee, that was before we processed it. And that was before it's on the shelf for 12 months or in the warehouse and had high temperatures in the warehouse and temperatures in the truck, So there's no guarantee that what's on the label is in the bottle. Plus, a lot of probiotics out there do tests of making sure that when you take, oh, gee, does your stomach acid destroy the bacteria before they even get working in your GI? But I love that Shaklee has actually encapsulated theirs, and so that it releases in large intestine, that's where you actually need a lot of your bacteria. And I love that actually there are small things that I own 6-month-olds and 1-year-olds and 18-month-olds to eat them.
Yep.
Without choking or anything like that.
Yeah, mine have all started very young on the Shaklee probiotic also. Based on your recommendation and the ease of getting it into them, it is a very, very small pearl that they can take easily. So for parents who are wondering how on earth you can get that into a small child, well, there's a couple different ways, but one of the easiest ways that I know a lot of people have had the most success with is those applesauce packets, and you just stick it in the little top of it, and then they're automatically going to suck down that applesauce, and whoop, it gets right in there and goes down very, very easily. Yes, Melissa, they are okay to chew. It gets rid of, some of those layers, but you are still getting quite a bit with the Shaklee probiotic. Would you agree, Dr. Schening? Someone asked, are they okay to chew? You must not have been able to.
What was that? No, you're breaking up again.
Okay, well, let's just go ahead then. We're going to keep going a little bit here. We talked about the environmental side of things, and so let's talk a little bit about the Shaklee Get Clean line. Would you like to share of that with us, or let's see here. I think I have a slide of the Shaklee Get Clean line and this line of cleaners. And is this what you have in your office?
Yeah, we use the laundry detergent and we use the dish soap and basically use it all in the office. I also use another product that Schening makes. It's called G, for my rooms, for my exam rooms, because it is shown basically to kill almost all virus, bacteria, some fungal, some other things. So, yeah, it is. Yeah, I've got all of that in my office.
Okay, great. Well, I mean, it just makes sense. You know, the Shaklee Get Clean line is an environmentally friendly, non-toxic cleaning products. And so they don't have any of those harmful chemicals in them that are going to cause the inflammation in the lungs that Dr. Schening was talking about earlier. And so the reason that these are good for us is because, you know, being that they are non-toxic, and any cleaning products that we use that have those toxins in them, not only are we breathing them in, but they are absorbing into our skin and causing damage that way as well, because our skin is our largest organ. And so anything that we touch is absorbing into our bloodstream. So we want to make sure that we're removing those toxins. So this is a fantastic line that I've used for many years in my home personally. I actually make baby wipes out of one of the products, which is not a Shaklee sanctioned use. I should probably say that right off the bat, but it is used in the field quite a bit by people. And that's because the products are safe, they are non-toxic, and they are not going to cause any harm. So I love that I can have my children help me to clean. And, you know, the products are so safe, they're actually considered edible. They are not a midnight snack by any means, but that just means that we can use them with ease around our children and with confidence that the products that we're using around them are safe. So thank you so much for that. Now, you guys are probably wondering, some of these products that she's mentioned, how do you get your hands on them, right? Step one would be to contact the person who invited you here tonight. We have people here from all over the country. And so it's hard to say how you were invited. So I'm not going to give you a website or anything like that specifically on here tonight. I encourage you to go back to the Facebook group that you may have come from, or the email link that was sent to you. However it is that you joined on here today, please contact the person who invited you, and we'd be happy to help you get your hands on these products. So we can help to make sure that you get the best price for the products. If that be with the Shaklee membership, that would definitely be the best way for you to get that price. There's a couple different ways that you can get the Shaklee membership. Oh, I guess I could get off this Get Clean one here. All right, here I am. And that would be the $19.95 membership is our customer membership, and that allows you to save 15% off on every single product that Shaklee makes. And you guys, these are shipped to your door. So you don't have to worry about lugging the kids out and trying to get your hands on these products or anything like that. They're going to come directly to you. So that's a beautiful thing. You can also get that $19.95 membership for free with a qualifying order, and the person who invited you can certainly help you to understand what that is to make sure that you get the very best deal for you. So now I'm going to just kind of pause for a moment here. We are going to end the formal presentation. So for those of you, we went a little bit over on our time as it is, but we are going to stick around and we are going to answer these questions. So if you need to go, then thank you so much for coming. We were so glad you're here. If you have questions, or you saw some questions come up in the feed that you want answers to, we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So if you have to go, then we'll miss you. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be doing different topics like this again, so stay tuned to the person who invited you here so that you can come back for more. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get to some of these questions. Now, I know that Teresa sent me a couple of them, so I'm going to go ahead and look for them. So, Dr. Schening, can you please repeat what you said about sugar? The person didn't hear it correctly. Is it 6 teaspoons per meal? Is that correct?
Okay, you're going to have to repeat that because you are breaking up.
Okay.
Repeat the question?
Yes, the question was about the sugar intake that you mentioned when you were talking about how much sugar is in our food.
Yeah.
Is it 6 teaspoons per meal is the maximum, or was that per day, or could you expand on that?
No, you want much lower than 6 teaspoons. Really, you should only be having a couple teaspoons of total per day of sugar. So the 6 spoons, no, that is way too much. Ideally, cut your carbs, because carbs have a lot of sugar in them. So yeah, no, ideally about 4 to 5 teaspoons of sugar a day, which most, unfortunately, I'm realistic, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Which is why I take my vitamins.
Right, you have to kind of offset that a little bit, right? Okay. Next question was about the preferred way to take a probiotic for the most effectiveness. I think we covered that when we talked about the Shaklee probiotic. Whoever wrote that, if you still have any more questions about that, feel free to put that back in the box again. But I think we did kind of address that. Dr. Schening, at what age should we start giving our kids a multivitamin? You mentioned that you give them to your kids around 1 year of age. Is that a good age to be starting, or?
To get them started for what?
A multivitamin, like the
Sorry, yeah, like the Incredivites, my youngest actually started on them when he was about 9 months old.
Okay.
I just gave him about a tablet, and and realistic mom, you're not the most perfect mom. He didn't get it every day, but I did notice he definitely wasn't as sick as other kids in the daycare.
Okay. Gosh, I definitely appreciate you being so real with us that, you're not the perfect mom, makes sure their kids get every single vegetable every single day and their vitamins every single day. Because let's face it, sometimes we forget. So I love knowing that you're on the same page as the rest of us. She broke up a little bit for me. I'm not sure about you guys, but did you say half a multivitamin at 9 months? Could you say that again?
Yeah, between 6 months and 1 year, I usually tell parents to give a half vitamin, and then 1 year to 4 years, them multivitamin, and then 4 years and up, give them 2. A lot of parents are worried that, oh my gosh, I'm going to overdose my child on vitamin D, or something like that that's in the multivitamin. You're not, because number one, if you're anything like me, you're not going to remember to give your child a multivitamin every day. And just remember to go into the RDA, or the recommended daily evaluations of vitamins. And again, that's a whole nother topic that you can get into. But you're not going to overdose your child with that amount.
That's great. Okay.
Yes, and yeah, Melissa, if you are one of those moms who can't remember to do that every day, again, it's not going to be a problem at that age. Think about it. One day your kids might eat 2 pints of strawberries or oranges, which is going to give them so much vitamin C. Are you worried about the overdosing on vitamin C? No, it seems that only when moms think of vitamins that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do something to harm my child. No, so don't worry about that.
Especially with your recommendation of using Shaklee, I think that gives so much peace of mind, because the products aren't full of any of the artificial flavors, sweeteners, or preservatives. They are providing truly the nutrition that we need in the amounts that we need it. And so we can definitely give those to our kids with confidence. And I love hearing that piece of just, there's no way you're going to overdose on the vitamins. So thank you for that. We have a question here about, is it normal for kindergarten age children to catch cold after cold? Oh.
In literature, kids in schools get anywhere between 8 to 12 illnesses per year. Usually that's between September and April, which is why you always think that you are in your doctor's office, because you're always sick. acid is common. However, in my practice, found that the kids who are on, honestly, who are on a good multivitamin and actually chiropractic care helps your immune system too. Kids who get both of those are usually the healthy kids, and I only see them for checkups.
Okay. Are recurrent fevers a major concern? Because she even puts in here too. We've just started Shaklee supplements, and I'm hopeful.
What was that?
We've got here, are recurrent fevers a major concern? And this mom here, I think it's Melissa, she's saying that they started Shaklee supplements, and she's hopeful it'll boost her son's immunity. So the fevers was the big question.
Yeah.
Are fevers a big concern?
And just remember, Shaklee has money. Oh, are fevers a big concern? No, I mean, fevers are your body is doing what it's supposed to be doing. You are just getting invaded by a virus or bacteria that likes to live at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, what your body says, okay, I don't want that little creature living in me. I'm going to turn up the heat. Fever's not a bad thing unless, of course, you're very young, like are 3 months, or you have a history of febrile seizures, which is, again, another whole different topic. But for the normal person, a fever is okay. You're not going to fry your brain. You're not going to cook your liver. You're not going to harm yourself. Definitely if it gets up to 104, your pediatrician call.
Okay, so at 104 degrees, definitely give a call. Otherwise, let it burn, baby. Keep them comfortable and let it burn. So how much probiotics should a 5-year-old take? This person says, currently my daughter is taking 4 billion a day. Does she need more or less?
I mean, is it a good quality probiotic? Because you can be taking 4 billion of a dead bacteria and it's not going to help you at all. So 4 billion might be great for some people. Other people might need 90 billion, or, some people might only need 1 million. So it depends. It depends on the person.
Right. And the person, and what's the guaranteed live delivery? Like you said, whether it's a quality brand or not.
Talked about Shaklee a little bit, so like you can tell it's like a presentation. Like
somebody's microphone is off and we are hearing your conversation. I'm going to go ahead and mute maybe who I think it was. Okay. Is there a certain vitamin D and vitamin C that you would suggest for a 10-month-old? We give her the Flora Boost for Kids probiotic. So is there a vitamin D and a vitamin C for a 10-month-old?
Well, the same makers that make the Flora Boost do have a liquid vitamin D, and then a vitamin C. Again, Shaklee has a chewable one that most kids will chew up, and it tastes like a sweet tart.
Yeah, it does. And I know at 10 months old, I was crushing up the Shaklee vitamin D. It's a very small tablet that's easy to be crushed. And so I would crush that up and put it in a little bit of applesauce, and it worked out quite well. And then my kids always love the vitamin C. It's like their bargaining chip for anything. Can I have a vitamin C if I do that, Ben? Yeah, sure, you can have a vitamin C. Why not, So that's another way too. I'm not familiar with that brand, but definitely crushing up the Shaklee brand as well works out quite well. So let's see. Do you recommend Shaklee products for celiac patients? Where are the multivitamins produced?
I obviously recommend them for celiac patients. I'm not quite sure. Where are they produced?
I'm not sure. With Teresa? do you have any insight on that one for us? Let's see. Actually, I'll tell you right now. Shackley, nope. That's not about where it's produced. But we could certainly get back to you on that. Whoever wrote that in, we can look back and try to find out. But I think the main question is, I know that the Shackley Incredivites are gluten-free. I believe with celiac, would that cover everything that they're looking for?
Yeah, a lot of the vitamins are gluten-free, they're GMO-free. We've got kosher vitamins. So yeah, I do have several celiac for patients who I'm assuming that are going to be celiac with their symptoms on the Shackley vitamins too.
Okay, great. Let's see here. Next question is 1 pearl of the probiotic sufficient for infants through adults? Can you give your 1-year-old the probiotic pearl?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that probiotic is from youngins all the way up to your elderly.
Awesome. And how much extra vitamin C or vitamin D from Shackley would you give a 7-year-old?
I'd probably give a 7-year-old an extra 1,000 units, so like 1 tablet a day, and then bump it up to maybe 2 or 3 tablets when they're starting to get sick.
And so that's outside of the Incredivites. Is that what we are talking about? We are assuming that the 7-year-old is taking the Incredivites, so this would be in addition to that?
I mean, yeah, I would recommend, outside of the Incredivites, because again, I have a lot of patients that they're on multivitamins and their vitamin D level is not where I want it to be. So, yeah, adding an extra vitamin D, again, to overdose on vitamin D, which again, a lot of parents are worried about, you have to take mega doses, like 30, 40, 50,000 units daily for I believe it was 4 to 6 weeks before you start having the super, super high dose levels of vitamin D in your blood.
Okay, awesome. Wow, you've shared so much great information with us. I thank you so much. One thing that we forgot to mention that I just want to plug up here for those of you who are still in the room with us, some of the supplements that we talked about tonight, we actually have a special offer that's happening right now, is the Shackley Kids Power Pack. And this includes 2 of the supplements that we talked about tonight, the Incredivites and the chewable vitamin C. It also has one we did not even have a chance to talk about, which is our Mighty Smart. So contact the person who invited you if you have any questions about that. But the promotion for this is that it is $10 off of the member price. And so the member price is $80.05. So you'd save an additional $10 off of that through November. So definitely something to take advantage of when you're looking to build your child's immune system. Outside of that, Dr. Schening, I appreciate you so very much and your time. Thank you for sharing everything that you did with us tonight. I definitely look forward to having you back again because we will be doing this again. I'm not really going to give you a choice in that matter because this was a lot of fun and I do just appreciate it. So thank you very much. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you gathered some good nuggets of information from Dr. Schening and hope you all have a wonderful night and a great day tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.